Welcome to Love and Lies Audio, where we present the untold tales of love, lies, and life after infidelity. All heartbreak has a voice, and these are theirs. Making her watch me thrive. I used to believe that life was certain. My decade-long marriage to Rachel had been uneventful, a peaceful place of love and shared ambitions. We had our nights of soft laughter, shared meals, and soft whispers of what the future had in store. I believed we had it all. I worked late shifts, usually minimizing my own fatigue, since I felt it was for us, for the life we had promised each other. Rachel smiled when I arrived home, always curious to hear about my day. That smile was a shield I absolutely trusted. But love is wicked at concealing cracks until the stress of betrayal makes them obvious. I would not realize the storm was on its way until it was upon me. It began subtly. Her phone would ring at odd times of the night, and she'd stifle it hurriedly. Her laughter sounded occasionally unnatural, too forced, too bright, little lies, little dishonesties. I pretended not to notice. I convinced myself that it was stress, fatigue, or perhaps mere paranoia. But instinct is a brutally candid friend. On one Friday, I left work early to take her by surprise with dinner. The aroma met me at the door before I opened it, a fragrance not mine, nor hers, yet one that I recognized. The living room was quiet, too quiet. And then I saw them, Rachel and Jake, my friend, my business partner, both frozen in place as our eyes met. The space felt inescapably cramped, suffocating with betrayal. I didn't scream. I didn't break anything. I just stood there, savoring the enormity of what I was seeing. Rachel's expression twisted through emotions: guilt, panic, shame, fear. Jake's fake smile could not conceal his discomfort. The trust I had placed in both of them shattered. I didn't sleep that night. Not with anger, but with clarity at last, having descended. I was able to see down the road. And it wasn't so much for vengeance. No, not the vengeance I'd ever known. It was for change. Quiet works better for revenge. I did not scream. I did not struggle. I did not beg. I pretended nothing had happened. Went to work, smiled, existed as though nothing had happened. Rachel tried to reach me every day to explain, to apologize, but I didn't respond. My silence was stronger than any argument. Her own guilt ate away at her, quietly, imperceptibly at first. She had expected fury, chaos, despair, but none. Instead, she witnessed a man whom she felt she knew growing increasingly, quietly inaccessible. I focused inward. All of those unrealized dreams, all of those abandoned hobbies, all aspects of myself that I'd abandoned on the altar of marriage, I took back. Runs were now hour-long sprints. My body was no longer a limp reed, but resilient and unbreakable. I started new work projects, worked on long-dormant assignments, and heard people who loved me. Every achievement reminded me of one thing. I didn't need Rachel's love to be complete. Change becomes irrefutable when it is visible. I got promoted at work. People around me noticed the change, the confidence, the energy, the magnetic aura. Invitations to parties, praises, attention. My existence was a reflection of what might have been shared with her, but never really valued. And she noticed it. I could sense that she watched, not knowing how to proceed, helpless against the man she lost. I never blamed her. I didn't need to. Every time she saw me thriving, laughing, confident, flourishing, it was a reminder. Every moment of happiness, every success, every fresh start was a silent reminder. Betrayal was costly. She'd not just lost a husband, but a lifestyle she'd taken for granted. And I made sure she saw it all unravel. Months passed. I didn't call her unless absolutely necessary, but she one day pushed me into the kitchen, red-eyed from crying, quivering voice. "I can't get out of my mind what I've done," she whispered, barely louder. I looked at her, not with anger, but with a peace so profound that she was frightened. "You don't get to choose when you can hurt me," I whispered to her. "But I do get to choose how I respond." She cried with abandon now, and she had counted on me to shatter, to plead, to hate her. But I didn't. I had chosen something more: peace and strength. The subsequent weeks were an orchestrated ballet of normalcy and perfection. I entertained friends, went to parties, took vacations, and succeeded at work. Every success was a small act of rebellion, never making a peep or avenging myself in the traditional manner. She began showing up at places I went, unable to resist watching the transformation. I smiled graciously each time, confident, unwavering. Each time she looked my way was evidence of her guilt and my triumph. Even close friends to both of us said, "You look happier than ever." Never suspecting my happiness was the most powerful message. It wasn't just on the outside. I reconstructed my inner life. I forgave, not her, not yet, but the situation and myself. Anger I'd borne turned to purpose. I started mentoring younger staff, volunteering, and taking risks I'd once avoided. I rediscovered passions I'd repressed, regained confidence I'd lost, and found joy in small things. The irony was bitter. The more she fought to connect, to apologize, to regain what she had lost, the better I thrived, and the more powerless she grew. Recognition came next. Prizes, promotions, accolades, successes she couldn't ignore. She reappeared suddenly one night at a gala. The spark in her eyes was no longer flirtatious. It was tentative, strained. She watched while I laughed with acquaintances, drawing respect and admiration effortlessly. It was a quiet, painful reminder. She had made a choice, and now she had to witness the life she had chosen to leave behind, thriving without her. I showed her flashes of my success, but never more than polite interaction. When she tried to talk to me of us, I stopped her kindly. There is no us any longer, but there is me and this life that I am building. Her shoulders were slumped, the burden of guilt weighing her down. I saw the realization dawning in her eyes. Her betrayal would never touch my peace, my self-assurance, my joy. She had created her own punishment in her actions. By year's end, I was a changed individual, not to anyone else perhaps, but to myself. Stouter, freer, thriving in every respect. I dated, I laughed, I explored the world with passion and wonder. Each encounter, each victory, was testament to my resilience. Rachel remained a shadow of my past. I no longer needed her approval, her presence. The story had entirely shifted. She had been a provoker of transformation, not a connection to my misery. And I knew, deep inside, she watched. She witnessed the man she'd misjudged become unbeatable. Sitting alone one evening, I thought about how betrayal transforms a person. Some crumble under it, some lash out at random. I made other decisions. I thrived. I rebuilt. I became unbreakable, not through vengeance, but through living boldly, unapologetically, beautifully. Making sure that she watched me thrive was never about sadism. It was about honesty, strength, and self-respect. And within that truth, I had peace, liberty, and the ultimate triumph. My life, my joy, mine alone. Thanks for sticking it out to the end. If your life has taught you loyalty, betrayal, or being strong in ways that no one else might catch on, leave a tale in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Love and Lies Audio, where every story reminds us that silence doesn't mean defeat, and quiet endings can be the loudest wins.